first of all, in their brevity. They're so short. They come in a small package, and every one of them tells an individual story, yet that story is contained sometimes within 30 seconds, which is so rare, and yet it's so Chopin-esque that he's able to put all that content in such a short piece. The Chopin Preludes are known to most by only a select few. So for instance, number 15 is quite well known. But to hear them in context, to hear them as one complete work, I think is something that's a gift, actually. It creates a different atmosphere. It gives the audience something to really grasp. They hear from the start to the end the preludes, and they can try to understand why Chopin wrote them the way he did. And it also creates an atmosphere. As a pianist, I can say that certainly Chopin is one of the most popular composers for piano because his music, first of all, is written extremely well for the instrument. Second, it does things that are seemingly impossible, making the piano sing, making the instrument really speak, tell some kind of a story. It also gets into the hearts of both the performer and the audience very quickly. His music is recognizable, it sings, it's very fluid. It has pain, it has beauty, it has sorrow, it has suffering, it has moments of sunshine and lots of darkness. And I think that's one of the reasons that audiences worldwide can grasp onto his music and really love it. Harmony is something that, of course, is unique to Chopin, but I think that more than harmony itself, it's how he writes the melody, and of course there's the famous Chopin rubato, but the fact that he can do something so simple and so beautiful and really make it complicated at the same time, I think that's true genius. That's the case in Bach, that's the case in Mozart, that's the case in Chopin, and those are some of the best and, of course, my favorite composers for the piano as well. But taking Prelude number 15 as an example, and we just have such a beautiful melody that doesn't matter what's going on beneath it. We could just sing this melody, and in fact, it is a popular melody. I know that Polish Lots, the airline, uses it as their boarding music, which is quite annoying actually, but it's there. People recognize it. People know it. This is Chopin. And of course the harmony, if you dig into it, that's why we know it's Chopin. But really what most people realize is that we know Chopin because of his beautiful melodies. Everybody will recognize his concertos or his etudes, some of them especially. For instance, Opus 10 number 3. That's all I have to play. And you know that it's Chopin. It's just so simple. And yet it has this ethereal beauty about it. in many Chopin pieces, there is this concept of not just having one note that creates the melody, but very much also creating some kind of a feeling, an atmosphere, a situation, an environment. So Chopin not only gives you, okay, this is maybe how we're supposed to feel, but puts it more into context. And yes, in Prelude Opus 24, number 8, that's one instance. You have just a... and then... And that's just one of the pieces. If you go to the Etudes, Opus 25, number 1, it has a very similar concept where we have water. It's very ahead of its time, actually. Ravel would take this to or Debussy would take this to another level where they would once again make soundscapes. But Chopin was already there in many ways. The piano is one of the few instruments that can actually do this, that can create an atmosphere by itself, as an orchestra would, with, for instance, the violins playing tremolo, or the whole string section playing tremolo and having the winds play a solo. It's about the same thing, except we can do it all in one instrument.
So I don't want to steal more of your time, but there's one last important question. I've heard people pronounce your last name in like 6 different ways. Could you just let me know what the correct way is?
Straight from the source, the pronunciation is Lisiecki.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Glad to set the record straight.